What's up guys, welcome back. My name is Matt Samolsky. I'm Matt the Carguy. On this channel I do car reviews back here at Gettled Kia of Bradenton, Florida, checking out this 2022 Kia Soul LX. Now this is the base model, no features added on it, and today I'm going to take you on a tour of it. We're going to check it out from the exterior, interior, pop the hood, see what powers up this thing. At the end of this video I'm going to take you for a spin in it, so if you're ready, let's go. Well, the first Kia Soul was manufactured back in 2008. Actually was designed here in California. It was definitely targeting a younger crowd, but it quickly became one of the Kia's most favorite vehicle for a few reasons. Well, the cool factor is definitely one of them. It looks different. And the second thing, it's not really that expensive. Now, a few months ago, I've done a Kia Soul Turbo, which is, over $30,000 vehicle. Now, today I have this base model trim level. This is the entry level in the Kia Soul lineup, the LX model. And with the destination charge, it's about $20,500. So it's one of the least expensive new vehicles that you can find on the market, period. So let's take a look at this vehicle. I like the hood and I like how it's got this indentation right here. Other than that, it's pretty flat. It doesn't have any other body lines on it. And if you like the color, they call it Mars Orange. It's a very nice color. It's not too bright, but it's very different from anything else that you can see. Well, Kia redesigned their logo for 2022, so obviously this one gets the brand new logo. It also has this two-tier lights. The top ones are actually the daytime running lights / turn signal, and they're incandescent. Also incandescent are the headlights, which are housed right here. The bottom part right here, it's big. This is the tiger nose grille that you can see, and it's dressed in this matte gray or matte black color, and it's encased in this kind of polished aluminum trim. So nothing too crazy about it. What's different from the Turbo is also the engine that you get with this base model. So let's pop the hood and let's see what's underneath here. The 2022 Kia Soul LX is powered by this 2.0 liter engine, producing 147 horsepower, 132 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an intelligent variable transmission, and it doesn't beat any records. I'm not even sure what the 0 to 60 is on that one, but I'm sure, looking at the aerodynamics of this vehicle and the power, it's not the greatest. But here's one thing that I love about this. Look at this. The hydraulic struts on this hood right here. If Kia can do it on their base model vehicle, there's no excuse for anybody else. It also has a nice sound insulation right underneath the hood, so it should be a nice and quiet ride. Guys, the shape of this vehicle remains basically unchanged since the inception of the Kia Soul back in 2008. Now, they probably have done some modernization. I haven't really paid too much attention of it, but the general concept remains the same. It's nice, it's cool, it's square, and it's a look like a cube, right? So let's take a look at this. I love this Mars Orange color of this vehicle, but I already told you about it, right? I also like that Kia didn't do that cladding on the side of the wheels. Now, some cars look good with it. This one I don't think would benefit from it. What do you get as far as the wheels in the base LX trim? Now, these are the 16-inch wheels, steel wheels. They're not aluminum wheels. They do have cup caps on it. As far as the size of the tires, they're 205 on the width, 65 on the height, so just a regular size tires, a lot of meat on them, so they should be pretty comfortable as far as drive. Now, they still have the mirror caps and the door handles the same color as the rest of the vehicle, which is nice. And they have this shiny black A-pillars, but everything else on this vehicle right here, this is the matte black. All the trim around the windows, it's matte black, and it continues into this design element, the trim on the back of this vehicle, it does have the sole that's embossed in it. As far as the entry system, you do have a remote key, like the flip-up key. You press the button, you open it up, you get in. So it doesn't have that smart entry system, but you know what? You probably don't need it anyways. And a couple different body lines right here. It's got this indentation at the bottom and does have this kind of hook right here, which makes it for a nice look. Now, other than that, there's no craziness in here. It still looks nice, it looks polished, and it's definitely an eye pleaser. Well, there's definitely no shortage of lights in the back here. Look at this, guys. It looks like one whole piece as far as the light design. There's actually 5 of them. All of them are separate pieces. They're kind of interconnected. The top one houses the third brake light. I mean, it does have this window washer right here. The window wiper is right at the bottom here. And then the lights right here. Look at the size of the rear lights. Definitely a visible vehicle in the back. Now, they're all incandescent design. They're not LED, so all of those pieces have regular incandescent bulbs in here. But nevertheless, they're nice and visible. So you have your blinkers here, you have the reverse lights here. That's your regular lights as well as the brake lights right on top of here. Now, what I like about this thing right here too, you can see the glass is over here. And then it's kind of connected to this plastic trim that is shiny black. And it looks like the glass is all the way around this trim piece right here, which is actually a gate, right? And it does have this new Kia logo on it. So very clever and cool looking design. Sole on one side, and then the bottom of the bumper is this matte black. It does have the mandatory reflector lights and a little bit of a trim piece underneath here. You don't have an invisible exhaust, and on the LX trim, you actually have to use your muscle to open up the gate. The good part is that it's not very hard to open. By the way, you also have a rear view camera that's right here. Let's check out the roominess in here. So you can see it does have a very large opening, so you can definitely load a lot of stuff in here. And as a matter of fact, let's check this out. It drops down quite a bit, so there's tons of room in the back behind the second row seat. Of course, it doesn't have a third row seat, but also what we've seen on the Turbo, that it had like this second floor that you could have put on top of it. This one doesn't have it. I think it's only available with the higher end models. What also do we have here? We do have actually a spare tire right underneath here. Now this is a temporary use tire, but at least you have it, and here's your tools to change it. Now the seats right here, they flip 60-40 split. It's an easy peasy way of doing this, so we can do that right now. I can show you how much more room you'll have once you fold them down, so quite a bit of room. Nothing else in this compartment right here. You also have a light that kind of helps you out if you're unloading at night, but no charger, nothing else in the back here as well. But guys, if you're looking for a roomy vehicle but you don't want to break the bank, definitely consider this one. Check this out. I have about 4 inches, maybe more, above my head, so I'm 6 feet tall. Plenty of room here. I have plenty of room in front of my knees. I do have plenty of shoulder room. The seats are nice. They're not super plushy. They're kind of on the firm side, but they look very durable as well. So that's what attracts a lot of people to the Soul. It's size of it. So if you're looking for your kids, they're gonna either carry tons of gear with them for different types of practices, or a bunch of friends going to a party, that definitely might be a vehicle for you without breaking the bank. The interior looks just as cool as the exterior, so let me show it to you. Well, Kia is really good about making plain look cool, and let's start with the door right here. You can see that there's several different colors on here. This is all hard plastic, but you have black right here, you have beige, then you have a little bit more black right underneath here, and nicely padded armrest. You have a trim piece that's right at the bottom, and then you have storage. Then you can put a bottle, maybe a cup in there. You also have your speaker, and then the coolest part right here is this trim piece. That's polished aluminum trim piece around the door handle, which looks absolutely stunning. We've seen that on other models too, especially when you shine a light on it. It looks definitely awesome. Now let's get inside of it, and now on the sticker it says that this vehicle is black with beige. I would probably flip it around and say that it's beige with black, because there's certainly a lot more beige than black. Now, two-tone seats. There's no seat back pockets or nets or anything like this. You don't also see an event in the console or any other as far as the charging. Now, I'm surprised the Kia hasn't done it, especially that they're aiming for the younger crowd, and they don't have it in the seats like they do on some levels. So what I would like to see probably in a car like this is more connectivity and more charging power in the back. So you don't get it, unfortunately. Well, let's take a look at the seats. The seats are cloth, nice material. They looks like it's durable and it's fairly easy to clean, and does have this design inside of it, kind of the diamond shape, so that kind of breaks it up a little bit as well. There's no armrest in the middle or anything like this, but you do have 3 seat belts in the back, so 3 people can sit in here. And the nice part about it too, that it really doesn't have a hump. It does have a flat floor, and you know what, you sit up pretty well because the seats are fairly high up, so they support your knees, and then if you're taller, you can nicely slip your feet underneath the seat ahead of you. All right, so as always, let's check out the sound of the closing door right here. Boom, nice and solid, just like on the higher end trims. And the door in the front right here is just like the door in the back, of course. It's got several different colors in here, and right on the side we have the door mirrors and window controls. You have the same trim as you've seen in the back. And as far as the seats, manual controls on the seats, both for the driver and passenger, but that's to be expected with this price range right here. Now, you do have several different adjustments. The seat can go up and down, front and back, of course, so not the end of the world if you have to do it manually. And let's check out the design of it, but we're going to do a little bit more in-depth once I get in there. There's 3 buttons in here for the base trim. Basically, you have a dimmer, auto start, stop from the engine, and then you have the traction control that you can turn that off. Now, the steering wheel is tilted telescoping, and let's see how much room we have. Okay, it's pretty easy to do, and it does have a pretty good range in here as well. Let's jump inside and see what else is here. All right, now we're on the interior of this 2022 Kia Soul LX. I gotta tell you, it looks basic, but it is functional. It's got everything that you need. It is on the basic side, definitely. So let's start off with the trim pieces right here. The top right here, this is all soft plastic, which is nice. It feels more expensive than it is. It does have a speaker right in the middle in here. And check out those vents right there. There's a speaker, and then there's a vent right next to it, and it's kind of connected to that trim on the door, which just looks pretty good. At the bottom here, you have a glove box. Let's see how tall, deep it is. It is a nice regular size glove box. And then you do have your 8-inch display, as well as you have your instrument cluster in here. As far as the steering wheel, it's not wrapped in anything, so just a regular steering wheel. Regular size, regular width. It feels decent to the touch. It's nothing too crazy. It does have this new Kia logo in here. Bunch of buttons on both sides. It looks like this portion controls the mode, which is basically a customizable button. Then you can pick up and hang up the phone. You have the voice controls, volume controls. And on the other side, you have the pages button, which controls the little screen in between the instrument cluster. You have a cruise control, but it doesn't seem like it does have the dynamic cruise control, so it's just a regular cruise control. That might be reserved for the higher end trims on the Kias. Now, let's take a look at the key for the Kia. It looks like the new style Kia key, right? When you look on the side, right? Like the push button one. But no, this one is actually a bladed key. It's kind of a split switch blade key. You open it up, you put it in the ignition, start it, etc. You do it the old school way. New Kia logo on it. Let's get this thing started. I think it's about 80 degrees outside, so we're doing a cook in here. Boom. When it starts up, you can see system check. You have this little Kia Soul on it, and then it's traditional display. On the left hand side, you have a tachometer, speedometer on the right, and on the left you also have the temperature gauge and the fuel gauge on the right hand side. Now, there's several of the items that you can see in the middle that are going to stay there no matter what you do with that. And right on top of there is the range. That's how many more miles you can drive in this vehicle. You also have the gear indicator. That's where the big P is on the left hand side. 82 degrees outside, and then 32 miles on the odometer on this vehicle. Now, that little window right here, that little screen is customizable to a degree, so you can change some of the settings. You can see, let's go. Android Auto just said that it connected, but you can see that you can display the speed, And then within that, you have the average miles per gallon, you have the average trip and the accumulated trip and so on. Then you can also see tire pressure if you start driving. The next one, user settings, you can customize some of them. You can reset it. So not a lot of customization, but none of the vehicles have a lot of customization at this price point. So lights, one touch turn signal, headlight this delay, you can basically play around with it and check it out. So let's take a look at this main display right here. It is a smaller display, but what's nice about the smaller display, it does have the wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. So I already connected my phone to it. It is a nice setup. Okay, the screen is not too big, but it's definitely substantial for what it is. You can see all of that you want to play around with it, download some apps to your Android Auto. Obviously you have maps, okay, and this is what it looks like. Pretty cool actually as far as the Android Auto. Well, let's go back at the Kia button or whatever other brand that you have that takes you back to the main setup. And what else do we have here? Phone, Android Auto, voice memo. That's a pretty cool feature. You can record the voice memo and then retrieve it later. Media quiet mode that turns off the rear speaker, limits the front speaker output. So that's a pretty cool feature too. And then you have some hard buttons on the sides, radio, media. This is another custom button. So let's click that. Okay, you can do a custom button. You can select it to display font projection, quiet mode, display on and off, or do nothing at all. That's your choice. Other features right here, you have the volume and volume knob, and then you also have your tune knob. This is your hazard light. Actually, the radio, I'm sorry I can't really listen to it for a long time because of the YouTube copyright violations that I might get, but it sounds actually pretty good even for a bass stereo. Now, it is not a automatic climate control, it's a manual, so the old school way, colder, warmer, different fan speeds, different fan settings right there. And then you have your AC on, and then you have your air recirculating button right here, or fresh air, rear window defroster, and that's basically all that you have here. And then moving down, and here you can see you have two cigarette lighting style chargers right here, charging ports, and then you have your USB port. Okay, and that's it. Right down here, you have a gear shifter. Now this gear shifter we've seen on several different Kias. That's actually a pretty cool gear shifter. When we put it in reverse, it actually turns on the rear view camera. And well, it's not the greatest, let's put it this way. It is a decent rear view camera, but it's nothing special. It's still kind of pixelized. We've seen a lot better camera systems on the higher end trims of the Kia, so definitely a software issue, and definitely you have a different quality when you go with a more expensive one. So you can see the car just passed by, so it doesn't have the rear traffic alert or anything like this. The only thing that it has is the trajectory lines, and other than that, you can make some adjustments to it as far as the display settings. That's pretty much it. All right, as far as the gear shifter, moving back down here, if you move it all the way down here and move it to the left, you enable a manual mode, and then you can switch the gears by moving the gear level up and down. And the only other button that you have on this base model, let's move it to park, is the drive modes, and there's two. There are two drive modes. There's a sport mode and normal mode. What else we have here? Parking brake, and you have the cup holders, a little bit of storage. This is pretty much the entire interior. As there's no sunroof, the only things on top are the lights, and those are incandescent lights. 3 different settings of it, sunglass holder, and then do we have a mirror in here with the light? Nope, just the mirror itself. So tough luck for those of you who'd like to use that. And this is it. Let's take it for a spin. Well, guys, the car is running. I'm ready to take it for a spin. But before we do that, as always, you might want to ask yourself, hey, how much is this vehicle? So this particular one, when you look at the Kia website, it says it's $19,290 starting MSRP and plus destination charge. This one, the only thing that it has extra are the floor mats. And this one comes up with a total MSRP of $20,505. Now, this is the base model LX. Then the second trim model is an S model. Then you go with the GT line, which is that a little bit more sporty looking. That's a 22,690. The X line, which is more rugged one, it's 22,690. Then you look at the EX, and it's 23,590. And then there's a big jump to the turbo one, because then that's the other one that you actually get this bigger and more powerful engine. 27,890 starting MSRP before any of the options that are added to it. So anywhere from 19, so from 20,000 to about $30,000. This is the spread on this little Sols right here. Not a bad deal if you're considering that just a regular Honda Civic costs about 20 grand right now for a sedan. Same thing with the Kia Forte, etc. They're close to the same price as you can get this crossover, if you will, and definitely get more room with that. Now, what you also got to consider too, that buying the Kia vehicle, you're covered with the best warranty in the market. So with Kia, 10 years, 100,000 miles. You know, as far as the powertrain, and 5 years, 60,000 miles, the full vehicle warranty. So, I mean, you do have a nice warranty that comes with it. So if you're looking for your first vehicle, if you're looking for a vehicle for your kids, you know, that might be something to consider. Or if, you know, you just don't have a lot of money to spend on the car, and, you know, you set your budget and you want it to go a long way, this might be a vehicle that you're going to be looking at. So let's take this on the parking lot right here, and I want to check out of how this vehicle turns. So what we're going to do is I'm going to line it up with one of the parking spots, and then turning it around 360 degrees, we're going to see of how many spaces it takes to turn it completely around. So I'm parked right here, steering wheel all the way, and we have 1, 2, 3, touching 4. I mean, this is basically standard for a compact SUV or even a compact vehicle, as it is about the same length and the same width as a compact vehicle. Okay, what I like about this vehicle right away is the visibility all around. You almost feel like you're sitting in the aquarium. You can see everything all around. So definitely a great safety component of this vehicle, if you will, is the visibility. You also set up a little bit higher than on the regular vehicle, but you don't sit up too high. So it does have this commanding view of the road, but you're not sitting like on top of the other vehicle. So it's still the right combination of it. So that's a big plus too. Now we'll see how this 147 horsepower engine performs. Obviously, I mean, it's not going to be as fast as the turbo one, but all I want to check, and if it's good enough to merge into traffic, if it's good enough to not get rear-ended. So let's check it out. It's actually quite peppy. It is a pretty cool vehicle. I was expecting it to be a little bit slower. You know, when looking on paper, you look at the horsepower, you look that it's the intelligent variable transmission, which is, you know, kind of the CVT transmission. That's the Kia's play on the words on it. So normally the vehicles like this don't have much pickup, and it's got a lot of whine. Now this has got this simulated gears, so that's probably the part that makes it different, because you can actually like almost feel the gears shifting even there's no gears, if it makes any sense. All right, I'm gonna turn it around, see the turning diameter in action, and see if we can actually turn it on the fairly tight road. Very nice. And we're back to speed again, so definitely capable of merging in traffic, and nice little vehicle. There's really no complaints about it. I was not expecting that to be that peppy. I mean, it's not going to break any records, but it's definitely substantial as far as braking, you know, merging into traffic and stuff like this. Combination, the price and the value that you get for it, I think it's a huge plus. You're definitely getting a lot for your money. So if you're looking for a vehicle, definitely consider one of those. If you're anywhere in Florida and you're close to Bradenton, check out the guys at Gettle Kia of Bradenton. They're a good group of people. I'm sure they're going to help you out. They have 2 of them in stock as of this filming of this video, but I know they're going quick like everything else these times. Well guys, if you made it that far into this video, consider subscribing, give me a thumbs up, keep me pumped up. Until then, I will see you in my next video. Cheers.